Are you guys ready? It's Sunday night. We are live, man. Off the script on Sunday night, ladies and gentlemen. We got news. WWE fired several more superstars this week, including a writer with no prior knowledge of professional wrestling, Kenice Mobley. Her employment and then her termination presents a scary problem inside WWE that needs to be addressed immediately. We also got news on Brock Lesnar. WWE is absolutely at their lowest desperation point to bring Lesnar back to the WWE. Are we really getting a King of the Ring? Are we really getting Reigns and Rollins? And when was Edge in the plans to return for Money in the Bank? Ladies and gentlemen, grab your beverages, rock out. It's Sunday night, and this is Off the Script. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Scripts. This is episode 382 of the flagship show right here live on YouTube on your Sunday night, June 27th, 2021. I am your host, JD, from New York. Thank you guys so very much for joining me inside the OTS venue. We're going to rock out tonight, man. We got some great tunes playing at the beginning of the show, man. I haven't been this happy with the music set list inside the venue in a very long time, man. Those are some kick-ass fucking tunes. I will tell you that right now, man. But it is a great thing to see all of the people in the IWC, all these geeks, all of these eggs, all of these bots with 16 numbers at the end of their @ on Twitter. Gonna read you something that happened after Dynamite, AEW, All Elite Wrestling, Dynamite went off the air last night, Eddie Kingston addressed the live Jacksonville crowd inside Daly's place. And Jungle Boy, you know, I get why people shit on Jungle Boy. I get why people like Jungle Boy get stereotyped by today's standards in WWE. And I don't really understand it. I get it, but I don't understand it. I get it, but I think people need to take a step back and really start thinking about where pro wrestling is going, man. You know, gone are the days of steroid-injected fucking muscle-bound freaks that stand 6'8" and weigh 340 pounds, man. We're not doing that, okay? You got your Jungle Boys, you got your MJFs, you got your Sammy Guevaras, you got your Darby Allins, you got your Adam Coles, you got your Tommaso Ciampas, you got your Johnny Garganos. You got guys like that. Ricochet, Ali, buried on the main roster. WWE doesn't give a fuck about them on the main roster, but they should be in the discussion as well as far as what you think about the future of the business. And Eddie Kingston, he came out and addressed the crowd after Jungle Boy and Kenny Omega's great match. It wasn't a 5-star classic like some of these geeks online are saying. It was a great match. It laid the foundation for Jungle Boy and where he's going in AEW. That was the entire purpose of that match. Tony Khan believes in him. He stepped up to the plate. He nailed a home run against the best wrestler on the planet in Kenny Omega. So why don't you give the guy his credit? Eddie Kingston came out after Dynamite and said this, and I quote, "Thank you, but it's not about me. Let's put it to you like this. It's about Jungle Boy, Christian, Penta. It's about everyone in that locker room. It's about AEW every week. That's what I'm talking about. Because the competition sometimes doesn't want to hear their fans." Well, I guess I'm burning another bridge. Surprise, surprise. Ladies and gentlemen, AEW cares about their fans. We are not here to get ourselves a paycheck. We're here every week with you people, without you people, and we come out here and we bust our asses because we love professional wrestling. I will give the devil his due, but you saw a match between Kenny Omega and my dude Jungle Boy that you will not see on the other channel. What exactly did he say that was wrong there? Let me continue. You will not see legends who are respected on the other channel. You will not see people like me or my best friend on the other channel. You will not see the heart that everybody in that locker room has on the other channel. Ladies and gentlemen, I was supposed to send you home happy, but I'm speaking from my heart. And the bottom line is we are AEW, and we will see you Wednesday. We want to hear from you. End quote. What did he say that was so outlandish from all these geeks arguing all day on social media, man? Please go get some sun. Seriously, go get some fucking sun, man. I was enjoying my day, my afternoon off before I have to sit here before you guys and talk pro wrestling for 2 hours. I was at a brewery, one of my favorite breweries in New York City. Today, I was having some great Spanish food for lunch. I just got done grilling outside some nice Juicy Lucy hamburgers with some roasted broccoli on the grill, pasta salad. I was outside today. Where were you guys arguing about Eddie Kingston and what he said about WWE and what he said about the other channel? What exactly did he say that was wrong? You won't see somebody like Jungle Boy in the main event on the other channel? Where's the false statement there? I said this last night. You'll never see a Sammy Guevara or Jungle Boy on the other channel in the main event for a world title? On their main shows? Well, what are you kidding me? You won't see a guy like Eddie Kingston have a prominent role on WWE television. They wanted to make him a fucking trainer. Just like they wanted to make Thunder Rosa a goddamn fucking referee. You don't see legends used correctly on WWE television. Meanwhile, AEW, for now, has Big Show doing commentary. Mark Henry is going to be an advisor. a talent scout for AEW. We got Sting putting over Darby Allin. He's bigger now than he ever was, Darby. You got Jungle Boy, you got MJF, you got Sammy Guevara, all these guys getting over. Christian is there. His debut was botched, but he never really overstepped his boundaries since coming on in. He's working with Jungle Boy. So where exactly did Eddie Kingston speak false in anything that he said? There is no heart. There is no heart on WWE television. You fucking geeks. Go watch Monday Night Raw and please tell me where exactly that heart is. Bruce Pritchard ripped the fucking heart. Vince McMahon ripped the fucking heart out of all of the wrestling fans in the last 10 to 15 fucking years where we sit now, and they spit all over the fucking fans. So exactly where? Please explain to me where Eddie Kingston is wrong and why you fucking imbecile, brain-dead fucking marks out there on social media are arguing about something that Eddie Kingston obviously said and was 1,000% truth. Also, shout out to CM Punk, Phil Brooks. Today was the 10th year anniversary of the glorious and epic pipe bomb that he cut on WWE against John Cena in Las Vegas. Still to this day, 10 years to the day, WWE has not had one moment on television. I don't give a fuck what you throw at me, man. Not one single moment that stood the test of time like that one, man. That one ranks up there in the last 10 years, and it's not even close. Nothing on WWE television has come even close to what CM Punk did. The summer of Punk, winning the world title at Money in the Bank against his greatest rival, John Cena, and shit all over the company in what was the greatest work shoot promo that the company has ever done. Awesome. Thank you guys very much for all of your support on the podcast. Thank you for filling the venue. I know it's Sunday night. I know you guys are getting ready for another work-filled week next week. My UK folk, pretty sure you're sleeping at this hour, but it is what it is, man. We needed to do a show this weekend, and I had no other time, and I figured today, this time was the best time to do it. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Make sure you guys go check out all the other content on the channel. We were live for Friday night. We were live for Saturday night. That's SmackDown and AEW individually. Finally, I don't have to do a super show, combine the two shows, but I got to get used to it come August 13th, man. AEW Rampage is going to be debuting on TNT, and we're going to be doing some dual shows for the duration because they are going right on after SmackDown on Friday nights. But if you guys missed any of the content this week, tons of stuff. I'm going to be working on some extras as well next week, and it should be great, man. Another work-filled week. We're going to round out the month of June the best way that we can with the best podcast in the IWC right here on Off the Script. Make sure you guys follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That's Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button. Like I said, turn on the bell for all notifications. Hit the thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes on the live stream tonight. So make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. If you enjoyed Eddie Kingston's comments and you found it to be 1,000% factual information true, hit that thumbs up for Eddie Kingston and for the podcast. If you guys want to go get your t-shirts, Bonfire is the place. Link is down below in the description. If you guys want to support, Patreon is a great way to do that. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. We got some great stuff. Some new stuff's going up. We got some things in the works as well for all you fine patrons out there. If you guys want to join the channel membership and join the channel, become a member of the venue, become a VIP, we're going to get some cool emojis specific to the brand coming on up, man. I'm talking with some graphic artists. We're going to be doing the thing. We're going to be getting you guys some emojis. We're going to be giving you guys a reason to join the channel and become a VIP right here on Off the Scripts. And today's show, man, I'm very proud because I had no idea of this brand, and I found out about it. And at first taste, I was like, this is probably the best tasting cereal that I've ever had, man. And it's fucking healthy for you. It's great for you. And it's just simply delicious. Today we are sponsored by, and I'm so happy, man. We are sponsored by Magic Spoon Cereal. Yes, I got an open box of cereal on my desk right now. This is one of my favorite ones, man. This is probably my second favorite one in the line. We got frosted, we got cocoa, we got fruit, and we got peanut butter, man. I think the frosted and the peanut butter is my absolute favorite right now. And all you guys got to do is go to magicspoon.com/scripts. You guys are going to use that link, and you're going to save $5 off today. And I tell you, man, everything that I push on this show, everything that is a sponsored ad on this show, man, I legitimately use. I've been having this all week long, and this is probably the most healthiest cereal that I've ever seen in my entire life, and it's the most delicious cereal that I've ever had in my entire life. I am being dead honest with you. And I don't eat breakfast, man. My breakfast consumes or consists of me consuming coffee. That's it. And then I have lunch. I skip breakfast most of the time, which is probably a bad thing. But I go right to lunch, man. Magic Spoon is where it's at, man. It's legitimately magic. This is the type of magic you should be having in your day, man. Not Alexa Bliss, okay? Believe me. magicspoon.com/script. You guys are going to save $5 off. Let's get right into the news, man. We got a lot to go over today. And I'm in some mood. So we're going to talk about all that happened this week in WWE, starting with WWE's return date. Let me get this fucking cereal out of here, man. Your green screen keeps failing. Jesse says, my green screen keeps failing. What are you talking about? Where is it failing, bro? I'm looking at my OTS. My green screen is not failing. That probably is my camera. Don't throw me off, bro. I'm looking at myself in the green screen. I don't see anything failing, bro. Jesse's trying to troll me already. Wait, let me see. What's going on? There's nothing happening. Why does it keep failing? Somebody tell me. JD doing green screen magic. What happened? Is the cereal not showing up? Oh, look at that. I put the cereal on the screen, man. Look, I put the cereal on the screen. Look at that. Oh, man. It's only the box of cereal, you geeks. Don't worry about it. It's only the box of cereal. The green screen is perfect, man. I got it all color situated. It's the fucking box of cereal, man. It doesn't go with the color of the green screen. Jesse, you fucking geek. Oh. It's off the script, man, for a reason. It's off the script for a reason. Anyway, let's get into the news. WWE is returning to Madison Square Garden, and this is another thing that actually riled up everybody in the community for whatever reason. I don't know. Yes, it really is magic. The cereals really is magic that it's changing the fucking green screen behind me, bro. Lol, it's magic. Listen, I don't lie to you here. WWE is going back to Madison Square Garden. And this riled up people in the community. So WWE, according to PW Insider, is planning to hold a SmackDown TV event on Friday, September 10th at Madison Square Garden. WWE nor the arena has yet to confirm this event and the booking. Last year's MSG show was indeed supposed to take place, but obviously couldn't for COVID-19 reasons. We were still in the middle of a pandemic. And they were supposed to include a special guest appearance by Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Sean Waltman, and Road Dogg, D-O-double-G. Oh, you didn't know? Road Dogg, Brian James. For decades, WWE considered MSG their home. WWE is pretty much based out of the greater tri-state area. It is McMahon country. AEW has come on in and booked their show at Arthur Ashe Stadium in Queens, right outside of Citi Field for what is going to be one of the biggest dynamites, if not the biggest dynamite of the entire year. WWE was supposed to get back to Madison Square Garden last year, so that was put on hold. So now they're doing it again this year, and everything is now opened up in New York City. A lot of people were riled up. Oh, this is the AEW effect. Oh, they're only doing this to combat AEW. Folks, let me tell you something. You know, normally I would be the first person to tell you that AEW and WWE, there's counter-programming, there's combating each other. I would have been the first person to tell you that WWE was being affected by AEW and that this would have been the AEW effect. But this is not the case for this Madison Square Garden show. WWE was supposed to and had every intention of going into Madison Square Garden last year. That they wanted so badly to do live shows, but they obviously couldn't. Nobody was allowed. Nobody was able to do live shows last year. So WWE had that date. They were going to try to do something in Madison Square Garden, and that didn't happen because of the pandemic and COVID-19. So WWE waited a full calendar year, and now everything is back open in New York City, and over 70% of New York State is vaccinated, and now they're going back to Madison Square Garden like they were supposed to, like they had paid for and scheduled to do so last year. This has nothing to do with AEW. This is not counter-programming AEW. This is not sticking it to AEW because they're running Arthur Ashe Stadium in Queens. It's not that situation. It's not that deep. And believe it or not, look at the date. It's Friday, September 10th. WWE is probably going to do something as far as the 9/11 date, the significance of 9/11 in WWE. That's always been there. So they're probably going to do a big memorial thing for 9/11. I think it's like the big anniversary, 20th anniversary of 9/11. So it's something that a lot of people are making a big deal about, and it's not really a big deal at all. Just calm your shit. Guys like me would always give it to you 100%. If it was a part of the AEW effect, I would definitely let you know. It has nothing to do with that. So please don't make it to be a bigger deal than it really is. It has nothing to do with AEW at all. WWE, we all know that they desire Brock Lesnar back on TV. This is reportedly a poorly kept secret in WWE. It was previously reported that WWE would bring back Lesnar around SummerSlam, according to Fightful Select. That is a pretty poorly kept secret in and around WWE nowadays. They really want Lesnar back, but those close with Lesnar don't believe that any momentum has been made. Who exactly is close with Brock Lesnar, man? Who exactly is close with Brock Lesnar? All these people, all these journalists, they think that Brock Lesnar is, he's not coming back. WWE hasn't released merchandise for Brock Lesnar. That means he's not coming back to WWE television. WWE has not worked out a deal with Brock Lesnar for SummerSlam. How do you know? How does anybody know? I've mentioned this time and time and time again, more times than I care to mention in the last 3 weeks. Nobody, and I'm going to make this again abundantly clear, nobody knows what Brock Lesnar is doing except Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman, and Vince McMahon. So please, I'd love to know how a Fightful or a Cultaholic or a Wrestle Geeks or Inside the Ropes or all these other fucking bullshit accounts, how they have the information on Brock Lesnar when that is going to be the tightest-lipped secret in all of WWE. You're going to get the answers out of Vince McMahon? You're going to get the answers out of that little bald-headed man, Paul Heyman? Give me a break, folks. Brock Lesnar will be back. If he doesn't show up at SummerSlam, I would be shocked. But Brock Lesnar will be back in WWE, man. They got fans back. They got tickets to sell. They got ratings that they desperately need to fix. Not to say that Lesnar's going to be the full-fledged, once and for all answer for the ratings. But WWE has a lot of things that they need to work on. They are trending downwards as far as creative and ratings and quality goes When Lesnar's back, it instantly means quality, and it instantly means must-see. And Lesnar is a must-see attraction enough to sell tickets to get you to go buy tickets to the shows when he's wrestling. Lesnar will be back. If we don't get Lashley and Lesnar at SummerSlam, I think it's a mistake. I don't think Bobby Lashley needs the WWE Championship in a match against Brock Lesnar. But if Lesnar's not back by SummerSlam, I would say he will definitely be back at some point. So it's only a matter of if not when. When Brock Lesnar comes back. It's not a matter of if, it's when he comes back to the WWE. Again, everybody making a big deal about Lesnar. I don't see why. He'll be back. He ain't going anywhere. Tony Khan's not stealing him away from WWE. He's going right back to Vince, man. He's going to use whatever he can for leverage, and he's going to get more money this time around from Vince McMahon than ever before. Why do you think they're firing 44 different people in a span of one calendar year? Because they're looking to pay Brock Lesnar. They got to pay Edge. They got to pay John Cena. They got to pay the Bella Twins, who got in hot water today, and a video of them went viral. Something about China, which I will not be talking about here because, quite frankly, I don't give a shit. But they got to pay the Bella Twins to come back. They got to pay all these part-timers to come back because they need help. It's the wrong kind of help. It's not long-term help, but that's what they think is going to help them in the short term while fans get back and while they need to sell tickets. Moving on from Lesnar, we're going to talk about The Rock. WWE is hopeful that The Rock will wrestle at Survivor Series. I don't know if The Rock is going to wrestle at Survivor Series, but I do think The Rock will be back, according to reports. The Rock will be back in WWE to set up his match at WrestleMania against Roman Reigns. And WWE, I think they know, I think Roman knows, I think Paul Heyman knows, I think Vince knows, I think The Rock knows that they need to do the match now. They cannot wait another full calendar year and do it in Los Angeles at WrestleMania. They need to do it now. But I do think that The Rock is going to show up at the rumored venue of Barclays Center for Survivor Series. WWE's hoping that he's free to show up, set the match, and then do it at WrestleMania, which would be great. Because this entire Roman Reigns storyline, the Tribal Chief storyline, revolves around Dwayne Johnson. It's simple. WrestlingNews.co is reporting that WWE is hoping Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson will be able to wrestle at Survivor Series in November. WrestlingNews.co was told that there was some hope that The Rock would actually wrestle at Survivor Series. The reason why WWE wants The Rock on that show is to celebrate the 25th anniversary of his debut. The Rock debuted in a traditional Survivor Series match in 1996. Obviously, the most obvious match for The Rock in WWE is against Roman Reigns. But with that match likely being saved for WrestleMania 38, it remains to be seen who WWE could have Dwayne Johnson wrestle at Survivor Series. Regardless of whether or not he actually ends up wrestling on the show, it's very likely at this stage that The Rock will be returning to WWE to set up this huge match with Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania 38, which will take place in Dallas next year. The Rock is not wrestling at Survivor Series. I do think, and I have been told by sources, my own people that I talk to that are very well in the know, that The Rock will show up at Survivor Series. WWE's hoping for it. They're hoping for him to show up. They're planning for the show to be in Barclays Center in New York City. And The Rock will show up depending on who Roman Reigns wrestles at the Survivor Series. It could be Bobby Lashley. WWE could still do the brand versus brand warfare. It's easy enough for them to do. I don't necessarily want to see that match at all. But WWE more than likely will have The Rock show up. He will set the tone for this match, and we will probably get this match announced ahead of time so that WWE could sell out AT&T Stadium in Dallas, and that match alone will probably set the tone for that show being a complete sellout. Because it will be The Rock's final match ever. He will not wrestle again after this Roman Reigns feud. After this match with Roman, he is retired. And it needs to happen now. It can't wait till 39 in Los Angeles. It needs to happen now. There's two things that are going on right now. Number one, The Rock and his movie schedule are a big deal. You can't have The Rock go out there and wrestle while also filming movies. Not only because of the risk of injury, but how many movies is the guy in? It seems like he's filming fucking 5 or 6 movies at the same time. How he even has time to even potentially do this is amazing in itself. Secondly, The Rock is getting older. We don't know how well he moves in the ring. We don't know if he can move as good as he did. He looks tremendous, but that doesn't mean he's in wrestling shape. Roman Reigns is probably the safest guy that you could probably put in there with Roman Reigns and The Rock together. Probably the safest match, with Roman being the safest guy. But it needs to happen now. The other issue is WWE is quickly running out of opponents for Roman Reigns. Even after this, they're going to present themselves with another issue on top of all this that I just mentioned. Roman Reigns is not going to lose to Dwayne Johnson. Roman Reigns is going to retain the Universal Championship against The Rock at WrestleMania. And then what happens? Do you have anybody in the pipeline to beat Roman Reigns? Because if he goes through all of these guys that you've already thrown at him and then he beats The Rock, with John Cena being rumored for SummerSlam, don't you think Roman Reigns is going to be almost at a Super Saiyan godlike level to a point where he shouldn't lose the title, period? Who exactly is going to beat him? WWE is going to run into a big fucking problem. It's not as bad as WWE ending the Undertaker streak at WrestleMania, but the streak that Roman Reigns is on is nothing to really scoff at. They've thrown every legitimate babyface at Roman Reigns right now that is worth anything. Then you're going to feed him John Cena. Then you're going to feed him The Rock. And God knows who else on the way there. Drew McIntyre. There's rumors about him moving over to SmackDown to challenge Roman Reigns. I don't think that's a good idea. You could probably get a couple of pay-per-view matches out of it, but I don't think Drew McIntyre is the guy to take down Roman Reigns. Big E. What are you going to do when Survivor Series comes around? No matter who the WWE champion is, it could be Bobby Lashley, it could be AJ Styles, it could be anybody really from Monday Night Raw. They're not beating Roman Reigns. They're presenting themselves with a major fucking problem that I don't think they're really concerned about right now, and they should. At this rate, Roman Reigns will hold the title longer than Bruno Sammartino, and at this point myself, I don't really give a shit. Because unless you got somebody on the same level as what you've done with Roman Reigns in the last year and a half, I don't think he should really be losing the championship at all. The longer he holds the title, the more prestigious the title is going to be. The longer he holds the title, the more greater Roman Reigns is going to be in the end when we look back on it. And the greater he holds the title, the longer he holds the title, whoever beats him is pretty much going to absorb all of that power and be the new god of WWE. But who is it? Who is it? Here's a spoiler, folks. That person doesn't exist right now because WWE has failed to build new talent. Speaking of building new talent, one of the great ways to do that is a King of the Ring tournament. WWE had Shinsuke Nakamura coronated on SmackDown in the most comedic of ways. I love Nakamura. I love my boy Rick Boogs. But I don't think we should be coronating kings unless it's justified. Beating Baron Corbin does not lead to a coronation of a new king of WWE, especially when Baron Corbin is the true king of the ring, sadly, and he had his crown stolen. He had his crown stolen, and then they put it on the line in a match on SmackDown, and now he's no longer the king of the ring. It's quite the sad scene on SmackDown, man. Very lazy, if you ask me. But WWE, the way that they could build up new talent is through King of the Ring. And according to sources, according to Meltzer, they are absolutely going to be doing a King of the Ring tournament this year. It's, again, a matter of when and not if. I've heard them talk about doing another King of the Ring tournament really soon. Corbin can probably win it back there. That's what he said in regards to a King of the Ring. Now, by the looks of it, it doesn't seem like WWE is doing a King of the Ring tournament, but I'm holding out hope. And me holding out hope for anything in WWE is a fucking blessing in itself because I don't give them any benefit of the doubt, man. I don't give them any leeway. But the thing with this is we got a draft coming up at the end of August after SummerSlam. Maybe they're waiting until September and everybody gets drafted to their specific brands, and then we can build the draft and the King of the Ring at the same time. Because you know how WWE does the draft and they got guys from Raw wrestling guys from SmackDown on both shows and it looks absolutely fucking ridiculous. Why don't you build the draft and the King of the Ring at the same time? Who am I kidding, man? That's probably a little bit too confusing for Bruce and Vince and all these fucking geeks on the writing team. That may just go way over their heads and it may be too much work for them to really dive into. But if you really want to build a King of the Ring and make sense of those fucking nonsensical brand-to-brand matches, build it around King of the Ring. Maybe they're waiting for after the draft just in general. Maybe that's the reason why we haven't seen it and why Nakamura has been comically crowned King Nakamura on SmackDown. The last King of the Ring tournament was held in 2019 and it was won by Baron Corbin. Hopefully we get it. I went on a nice little rant about how we can make this a thing. WWE is listening to ideas from NBC Universal about a possible point system, a monthly point system. I don't know if it's going to be every month or if it's just going to be a specific month, but they're also talking about a point system. They're also talking about a World Cup tournament, a very big tournament in WWE to crown greatest wrestler in the world, but it's going to be really serious, and the point system may be used for that. They already have something like that in WWE. It's called King of the Ring. All you got to do is take 8 guys in Block A, 8 guys in Block B. You build these shows between a mix and match fucking system on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. You build these 16 guys in the tournament, and the winner of Block A fights the winner of Block B for the King of the Ring, and they get a championship opportunity at whichever pay-per-view you decide they get that championship opportunity. Why don't you just take a page out of the best wrestling tournament in the world and do the same thing as the G1 Climax? I think WWE's television would be better off for it. I think the wrestlers would enjoy it. I think you'd get a lot of people over. I think you'd get a lot of people excited. It'd make Monday Night Raw and SmackDown seem fresh. It'd make Monday Night Raw and SmackDown seem new and exciting. And it might make those shows appointment television for the first time in fucking eons. I think that works out, man. Oh, but WWE, I mean, they're hiring people like Kenice Mobley, who are comedy writers, and all WWE wants to do is be the next Seinfeld. Minus the pro wrestling. I'll take fucking Kramer and Jerry any day of the week. Give me a break. Major plans on the draft. Each report goes right after the other, man. Major plans on the draft. WWE's got some big-time plans. My buddy Andrew Zarian of the Matman Podcast has reported that WWE has big plans for some who will be switching brands in the draft. No concrete plans are available right now. Nothing has been broken as far as news is concerned. But Zarian also reported that he's been told the goal within WWE is to make this year's draft more significant than in years past. He also added that there is a unique opportunity to hit the reset button on a lot of talent. Will it matter? I don't know. I don't know if it will matter, man. WWE hitting the reset button sounds good in theory, but it's about what they do as far as their actions are concerned. I don't want to think about what they could possibly do. I want to see fucking action from WWE. Because there's a lot of guys out there right now on that roster that could absolutely use a reset and some tender love and care. King of the Ring tournament would be great. WWE needs to start thinking about their future. Lesnar and Edge and all these guys, Cena, they're not going to be around forever. You're going to have your guys that you got right now, the youth. You need to build them up. But this is the same old song and dance. The draft itself has been a waste of fucking time. And the draft right now, I won't even say it's a ratings grab because the draft isn't even that. But the WWE's made a mockery of the brand split. The WWE's made a mockery of the draft. They don't really go into it with any seriousness whatsoever. If they really wanted to make it a big spectacle and make it more significant than in years past, they should really build these shows around the fucking draft. Get people excited about it now. Let people know that it's coming. Let people mock draft who they think is going where. Have fun with it. Really present it as a big sports-like presentation. interview people about who's going to Raw and SmackDown, why they don't want to go to the opposite brand, what they want if they do end up moving, possible future matchups that they'd love to have, include NXT in the draft, make some trades between each brand, give pay-per-views during the year, significant draft implications. I don't know, man. I mean, if you guys want all my ideas, just go back and watch episode 380. We talked about all of this. I don't need to reiterate myself, but if you guys want my really simple, broken down thoughts about how to fix the current WWE model, and that includes pay-per-view, implementing a true King of the Ring, the WWE draft, just go back and watch that episode. We talked about it legitimately for an hour and a half. I don't know what else to add. But they don't give a shit. They're worried about bringing Brock Lesnar back and having him show up on one segment out of 16 on Monday Night Raw and think that's going to help their fucking bleeding ratings. Speaking of the draft, The Undertaker is listed internally on WWE's roster for the 2021 draft. I don't know why. The guy's fucking retired. Or maybe he's not. Maybe they want him back with fans coming back in attendance. So they have The Undertaker listed internally on their roster for the 2021 draft. This list also includes Bill Goldberg, who more than likely is going to return anyway because WWE is going back to Saudi Arabia. It was also noted that Lesnar's name was not on the list, but again, nobody knows what Brock Lesnar is doing outside of Vince McMahon and Paul Heyman, and normally they are very secretive about when Lesnar shows up, so that's not really a surprise at all. Lesnar's name was not on the list. He's also, as what we know right now, not an official WWE employee. Nobody knows if he signed the deal or not. He probably did, but nobody knows. So The Undertaker is also on the list internally for some reason for the draft, but he's not listed for being available for any brand at all. I don't know what this means. More than likely, it is just WWE keeping him open just in case Vince gets the itch to pick up the phone and give him a call back and pretty much go back on all of that retirement nonsense that we've seen from The Undertaker. But in regards to The Undertaker, WrestlingNews.co was told a few months back that the Taker is still wanted for occasional surprise appearances. There were pitches made for Taker to come in and hit a tombstone at this year's WrestleMania to give the fans something extra. Obviously, that did not happen, but the door is always open for the Taker to come back and make surprise appearances on big occasions in full character while not having him wrestle and taking bumps. So he's always going to be a part of the family. He's always going to be a part of the roster. He's not listed internally for any brand. So it's just one of those things where he's there and his name is always going to be in discussion for being brought back for minor situations. This doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be drafted in the draft. He's not going to be placed on Raw or SmackDown. He's not going to wrestle. He's not going to have a feud or a match at WrestleMania or Survivor Series or be brought in for SummerSlam. He's just there. He's The Undertaker, man. He should be on the roster no matter what until the day he dies, legitimately. I talked about this during the week. Big E, speaking of the draft, Big E could possibly be moved to Monday Night Raw. And the reason why he could be moved to Monday Night Raw is because right now, nobody is in the same atmosphere. Nobody is on the same level as Roman Reigns, which also presents a different kind of problem, which we talked about before. So they're thinking about moving Big E to Monday Night Raw, and WrestleVotes reported this week that there's an idea going around that WWE would be thinking about, could possibly be thinking about moving Big E from SmackDown to Raw in the draft at the end of August. Now, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods are still on Raw as a tag team. Kofi Kingston is now a single for the time being, as Xavier Woods is now out, selling the effects of the Hell in a Cell match that happened on Monday, and he's also doing some non-wrestling related activities. But this could mean that the New Day gets back together on Monday Night Raw. This would have all of them on the same brand, but not necessarily pushed as a threesome, as a faction like they have been in the past. due to WWE still wanting to focus on Big E being a singles guy. WrestleVote says, and I quote, "I've heard from a few sources that an idea is making the rounds, Big E moving to SmackDown, or moving from SmackDown rather, to Raw in the post-SummerSlam draft, still being pushed as a single. In essence, New Day back together without necessarily being a team. If so, Big E would become a fresh face for the Raw main event scene and the WWE title." So this is great for everybody that wants Big E to be a world championship caliber guy, and for Big E to win his first world championship, beating Bobby Lashley. I think that's a believable situation. But what are you going to do on SmackDown? Who are you going to move over to SmackDown? We talked about Drew McIntyre possibly moving over to SmackDown because he's done everything humanly possible on Monday Night Raw. I don't think he's ever going to get a championship opportunity on Monday Night Raw again as Bobby Lashley's opponent, as long as Bobby Lashley's champion. WWE's got some real fucking issues of their own on Monday Night Raw. Even if you do move Big E, they got a problem regardless with Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns. It's going to be the same problem no matter who you move and put on whatever brand. Bobby Lashley is without baby faces right now. Kofi Kingston is in the WWE title match at Money in the Bank simply because they don't have baby faces that they trust enough and built up enough to take on Bobby Lashley. So no matter what you do, you're going to be running into the same problem. Big E, Kofi Kingston, no matter what. Because on the opposite brand, Roman Reigns is going through the same issue. He's got no baby faces. So what exactly are you going to do? You've built these shows over the last year, and you built these shows around Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns, and you haven't given any thought as to who the next big baby face is going to be for Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns. You've went an entire year feeding these guys. Well, Bobby Lashley had nobody but Drew McIntyre, really. Nobody on these brands is legitimate enough to beat either one of these guys, and that is your fault. Is it going to be an NXT guy that takes the title off of Roman Reigns? Could it be an NXT guy to take the title off of Bobby Lashley? They're talking about calling up Karrion Kross. They're talking about calling up Bronson Reed. I don't think WWE is going to throw them right into the main event scene. So no matter what you do with Big E, if you move him over to Monday Night Raw, you're talking about the same issue with Roman Reigns. You cannot continue to take fresh baby faces for Roman Reigns and move them over to Monday Night Raw because they're not ready. What does that say about everybody else? A, there is nobody, or B, you're afraid to build anybody up because you realize that nobody's going to pale in comparison to Roman Reigns. Or everybody's going to pale in comparison, I should say, to Roman Reigns. Nobody's going to even stand toe-to-toe and look legit at all. They got some big fucking problems. Nobody's asking these questions, though. Yeah, move Big E to Monday Night Raw. Give him the WWE Championship. He may have some heels to work with as a babyface, but what do you do with Roman Reigns? There's no babyfaces on Raw to move over to SmackDown to give Roman Reigns any competition. Right back in the same boat. You're pretty much taking one, putting him on the other show, and leaving yourself with the same issue. You better be in Stamford at Titan Tower thinking about what you're going to do, man. WWE made another round of cuts this week. Several names released. 205 Live was pretty much gutted from the top all the way to the bottom. This does not sit well with Triple H, I'm sure. But WWE has made more roster cuts. So all of these names, WWE released Tony Nese, Everrise, Chase Parker, and Matt Martell. They were a tag team on NXT, if you guys don't know. Killian Dane, Tyler Breeze, Fandango, Austin Gray, or August Gray, I'm sorry. Austin, August, who gives a shit? August Gray, the Singh brothers, Arturo Rujas, Marina Shafir, and Kurt Stallion have all been released by the WWE. Tyler Breeze and Fandango were the two guys that I was most surprised by. Tony Nese went on social media and thanked everybody. I don't care about how unwatched and underappreciated 205 Live was. I busted my ass every single time I stepped foot in that ring doing whatever we asked or was asked of me with no questions asked. I can't wait to be that type of employee for somebody else. He was one of the few guys that made a public comment. The other guys have made public comments, but I mean, I didn't really find them to be all that much of a big deal. August Gray, the Singh brothers, Kurt Stallion, guys like that. Tony Nese was one of the guys to me that I felt was very underappreciated, very underutilized. It's amazing how you got a guy that looks like that and you can't do anything with him. And you got Tyler Breeze. Don't know why you let him go. Tyler Breeze could have easily just stayed on as a performance center coach. Everybody loves Tyler Breeze. Amanda, Brody Lee's wife, made a beautiful post on Tyler Breeze. I don't have it in my notes, but I urge you guys to go and read her Instagram where she really praised Tyler Breeze and everything about him as a human being and what he meant to Brody in the last days of his life. And they let somebody like that go. Don't know if you guys realize this, but Everrise, I believe it was Matt Martell, his wife was about to give birth and WWE fired Everrise. His wife was pregnant, about to give birth, and WWE gave them the axe and fired them from NXT. This is the way of Nick Khan. Cutting budget, cutting the fat, trying to trim where he needs to trim. He's got to pay for those big money contracts somehow. He's got to pay for that $7 million paradise mansion that he purchased for himself. So yes, let's please cut 44 guys that they signed, and we'll cut them all in this calendar year alone. Tyler Breeze, Fandango, they were the guys I was most surprised by. Fandango made a comeback, and he looked great. They even documented his comeback on WWE's Performance Center YouTube channel. Don't know why they would let two guys like that go. Killian Dane apparently was not the type of guy that Vince McMahon looked at as being a big guy that he would push, so they let him go. Arturo Rujas, the last time we seen him was on Raw Underground. The Singh brothers, the biggest thing that they'd done in WWE was come out with Jinder Mahal. Marina Shafir, I believe there were plans to put her with Roddy, his real life wife, in Diamond Mine. August Gray and Kurt Stallion. I mean, they've gotten a lot of praise on social media, but I mean, I'm going to be blunt with you guys. Some guys just will be independent wrestlers for the rest of their life. I'm not saying that these guys won't be successful, but they won't be successful in WWE. You could take a look at August Gray and Kurt Stallion and really just think, how are these guys going to ever get over? They're not going to get over in WWE. Kurt Stallion reminded me of, what's his name? Fuck, I forgot his name. He was from Evolve, Kurt Stallion. And August Gray, Heath Slater. Kurt Stallion reminded me of Heath Slater. WWE never did anything with Heath Slater. August Gray, I don't see them doing anything with August Gray. They never really embraced the 205 Live way of life anyway. WWE could have easily made a great division out of the Cruiserweight division, but they don't find money in these guys, thus they let them go. If it was up to me, the Cruiserweight division would be something that floats between brand to brand to brand. I'd have it featured on Raw. I'd have it featured on SmackDown. I'd have it featured on NXT. That's exactly what I do. I don't know why you don't utilize the Cruiserweight Championship and use it across all three brands. It would make Monday Night Raw fresh. There's Cruiserweights on Monday Night Raw. There's guys in that weight class, that weight limit that would challenge for the Cruiserweight Championship. They're not doing much of anything right now. A guy like Ali, a guy like Ricochet, a guy like Mansoor. Why aren't you using those guys for something like that? Meanwhile, you could do the same thing on SmackDown. You could do the same thing on NXT. Now, where exactly does 205 Live stand? Triple H, before these releases, had big plans to kind of build up the Cruiserweight division on NXT. Now, if you look at the Cruiserweight Championship and Kushida, who exactly does he have in the Cruiserweight division? They fired half of them. I don't know what's going to happen, but again, WWE has messed with the plans of Triple H. All of these releases will impact the cruiserweight division on NXT. Don't know. Don't know what Triple H has planned, but those are the people that they let go this week. Not major releases like the last set of releases, but I never want to see anybody lose their job. But this is WWE's fault. They went into hoarding mode, and they felt like they could keep all of these men and women signed, keep them away from all the other promotions. But this should be looked at as a good thing for all of these guys. I could see Tony Nese end up in Impact. Buddy Murphy was a part of the last releases. I could see him end up in Impact. I could see him having great matches with TJ Perkins. Ace Austin. I could see Josh Alexander having great matches with Buddy Murphy. Impact could really benefit the most in their X division with some of these guys. I don't know how much money they have to throw around, but if they really want to have a cruiserweight resurgence, the X division may be where it's at if you're in that weight class. They're clearly not going to sign everybody, but right now the indies are thriving again. There are several promotions looking for guys like an August Gray and a Kurt Stallion. You got MLW, you got Ring of Honor, you got Impact, you got AEW. They're not going to sign all these guys. This is the good thing about the state of pro wrestling right now. There's different avenues where everybody can find work. It's a good thing. Everybody will land on their feet. This should be a wake-up call to everybody. Honestly, this should be a wake-up call to everybody. You know, it's amazing to me how everybody wants to go immediately to WWE. Why would you immediately want to go to WWE knowing what you know current day? You see what their mentality is. They don't give a shit who you are. They will cut you. A lot of these people, and it's sad to say, I'm not saying everybody thinks this way, but a lot of these people think that, you know, the big money paycheck is all that really matters. You should really get your feet wet and really just hone your craft somewhere else. You can make your money, but don't go to WWE and be treated like an insignificant fucking fly. Half of these guys would have never even been on any other brand besides 205 Live. You want to call that a career? You're wrestling for WWE, but nobody knows you are alive at all. Go make your noise somewhere else where you'll be appreciated a little bit more and not held down on a fucking brand that nobody fucking watches and a brand that WWE doesn't even promote. A lot of these people need a fucking wake-up call, man. The WWE is not the end-all be-all. You're a pro wrestler. Go make your money elsewhere. There are different ways to do it. WWE is not it. Look at what's going on. WWE recently fired Kenice Mobley, who was a comedian or comedy writer. They fired her after she admitted she knew nothing about professional wrestling. This was one of the most ridiculous fucking stories of the entire week. And this story presents a much bigger issue in WWE than most honestly realize. I don't know why anybody is defending this woman. I don't know why anybody is defending WWE about hiring her. I don't understand why people are out there saying, well, this has been happening for 15 plus years in WWE, them hiring comedy writers. Who's to say that WWE needs comedy writers? Why do we need comedy writers with no prior knowledge of pro wrestling in WWE? It really is a bizarre fucking story that this woman was even given a fucking interview. Never mind getting hired. Who legitimately sat down with this woman and interviewed her after looking at her credentials? Is what I want to know. Kenice Mobley is the name. It's wacky story. WWE hired a stand-up comedian, Kenice Mobley, as part of their Monday Night Raw creative team. Go figure. Monday Night Raw is the biggest fucking unofficial comedy of them all. So I'm not surprised that they hired a fucking stand-up comedian for Monday Night Raw's creative team. Then they promptly fired her after she admitted on a podcast she knew nothing about wrestling. I don't know what podcast she was on. I believe it was called Asian But Not Asian podcast. First of all, let's point the finger of blame at whoever hosts that fucking podcast. Number one, why do you have somebody like this on your show? Who is Kenice Mobley and what value does she bring a fucking podcast? She could really point the finger of blame at this fucking person, whoever runs this goddamn show, as the reason why she got fired. Because other than that, I don't know why anybody would ask her any fucking questions. After this, everybody knows who she is. Before this podcast interview, nobody realized she was even alive. Nobody knew Kenice Mobley was on the Monday Night Raw writing team. So why was she on this show? What prompted this podcast host to go get Kenice Mobley to sit down and ask her questions? That's number one. Busted Open Radio, Bully Ray, he was very vocal about how bad of a look it was for WWE to hire a creative writer for their flagship show, who not only went on a podcast to talk about how she was hired as a writer, but then admitted she knew nothing about the business and wasn't a fan. Number two, not only did this podcast host fuck up and bring on somebody that really nobody gives a fuck about. Hey, I got a WWE writer on my show. Look at me. Look at how important I am. This is why I hate most of the podcasts in the community, man. Everybody's trying to money grab and fucking grab spotlight through everybody else in the industry. Nobody's built themselves up on their own body of work. You know, the one thing about the community is, how many times do you watch these shows uncharismatic? They're fucking misinformed. They're blatantly lying to you. There's no fucking excitement at all coming from any of these shows. Really, you watch most of these shows and you see no personality. A lot of these guys are either interviewing somebody, or a lot of these guys are using sources that they know inside the company to break news. Who's watching these people for those people exactly? The reason why you're watching this show is because I don't break news. The reason why you're watching this show is because you enjoy me. You enjoy me as a content creator. You enjoy my takes. You enjoy my vision. You enjoy my thoughts. You enjoy how I speak for the masses that hate this fucking product. You enjoy me because I'm not afraid to say what others should be saying, but are too afraid to really ruffle some feathers because they got those inside scoops that they're so in desperate of to build their own brand. They're building their own brands on inside stories and scoops and fucking rumors. Meanwhile, I built my brand on me. That's the reason why you're here. Everything you see is because I built it. You're here because of me. I'm charismatic. You enjoy my brand of entertainment. That's the fucking problem. Everybody's looking to leech off each other. Bully Ray was fairly vocal about this on Busted Open. In a podcast interview, she admitted she probably should know the name of the world champion on the brand she was writing for. And then she said, instead of Bobby Lashley, she called the WWE champion, I think his name is Bobby Ashley. Now, was she being a comedian when she said that because Ashley rhymes with Lashley? Was she being very sarcastic in her reply? Or was she being serious? We don't know. We don't know. If I was a betting man, I would probably say she was that misinformed. She didn't know jack shit. The problem that I have with this is she wasn't a fan. We got too many people in this industry. We got too many people writing for these fucking shows that are not a fan. We got too many people writing for these shows that don't have the knowledge needed to book characters correctly. The people that work for WWE, and most of them have been there for years, they themselves are probably not fans. That's why the product sucks. There's no care. Yet everybody wants to rag on Eddie Kingston for what he said at the end of Dynamite in an exclusive clip after Jungle Boy and Kenny Omega. The one thing that he said was that there's no fucking heart on that other channel. That is the one thing that resonated with me the most. There's no fucking heart. Is he wrong? The people that been there longer, 1,000 times over than Kenice Mobley, don't have heart. If they did have heart, Monday Night Raw would be a lot better than what it is now. I don't know who conducted this interview. I don't know why she was even interviewed for this thing. She's a fucking idiot for even applying for something that she had no prior knowledge in to begin with. Not only did she make an embarrassment of WWE even further than they already are, she made an embarrassment of herself because she applied for a fucking job that she had no business applying for. So she's just like the rest. They probably offer her some easy money to sit around and do nothing because their ideas are not going to be used anyway. You sit down, you type a couple of lines, you go over one segment on the fucking show, and you make $80,000, $85,000 a year for basically not knowing shit. Which is another problem on top of what she already is. She's not a fan. There's no knowledge coming from her about the fucking product, so she's also lazy. I'm sorry, comedy clubs aren't open. Now they're all open. Go make people laugh. Go ahead. We don't need people like you in pro wrestling. That's the fucking finality of it all. Then I got people on social media. Why are you ragging on Kenice Mobley? This has been going on for the duration. This has been going on for a lifetime in WWE where they hire comedy writers. No, it's not. No, it's not. Go back to the Attitude Era and go and look who wrote those shows. Ed Koskey, Bruce Prichard when he was actually fucking decent. Ed Koskey, Bruce Prichard, Jim Cornette, Vince Russo, Jim Ross with Vince McMahon. There weren't as many chefs in the kitchen as there are now. I'm sorry. Are any of them comedy writers? No, they're professional wrestling personalities. Those are the people that you need in those positions. Yet, they still knew how to make people laugh. Or better yet, why don't you fucking break the characters out on television that you got there? Let them get off the chains for a little bit. Maybe they are funny. Maybe they're a little bit comedic where you don't need to have some fucking person come on in like Kenice Mobley and write some shitty fucking comedy lines for them. Dwayne Johnson was genuinely funny. Stone Cold Steve Austin was genuinely funny. Mick Foley was genuinely funny. Kane, when he had the voice box and when he was teaming with X-Pac and doing the Daniel Bryan thing, he was genuinely funny. The guy fucking fit all facets of everything you love about pro wrestling. You wanted him to be an evil heel monster? He was. You wanted him to be a comedy character while also maintaining that dominating fucking big man? He did it. You don't need comedy writers to write pro wrestling. WWE did comedy better than anybody back in the day when we all loved this shit, and none of them were strictly comedy writers. That's the fucking problem. Yeah, you got people on here defending this fucking half-witted idiot for accepting a job, applying for a job that she should have no business even fucking looking at. Shame on WWE. You want to know why these fucking shows are the way that they are? Look at their hiring process. If they don't take their fucking hiring process seriously, how are we supposed to take them seriously when we watch from 8 to 11 on Monday night? It is absolutely criminal that these people internally, and I said it, are sabotaging what we all love about this company. They don't give a shit. WWE should have minimum 5 years knowledge to apply for that position. You should know at least 5 years worth of WWE content and storylines before you apply for a position for a current writer on Monday night or Friday night. And you should be a fan. No more comedians, no more easy way out. What happened to WWE hiring soap opera writers? Pro wrestling is always described as a male soap opera. WWE needs some engaging fucking storylines, man. Why don't you guys hire somebody that's gonna have drama-written fucking storylines and ideas? Because God only knows this fucking show needs something, not comedy. We don't need comedy. That's the fucking problem. The people in this company think we want entertainment. The people in this company think that they want, or the people out there want comedy. We don't want laughs. We don't want entertainment. You can be entertaining by giving me a sports-driven product. This is what they don't understand. I don't know who they're aiming for. What demographic are you aiming for? The reason why your ratings are in the fucking dumps is because of the current process that you're undergoing right now, aka Kenice Mobley. People are thirsty for sports-driven content. People are thirsty for championship matches that have significance. People are thirsty for analytics. People are thirsty for competition. People are thirsty for drama on a week-to-week basis that gets them invested. People are thirsty for appointment television on Monday and Friday. People are thirsty for wins and losses to matter. Why are these things not a priority for people writing this show? Why are you looking at Kenice Mobley, who can't even get the name of your WWE champion correctly, blatantly admitting she's not a fan? I don't understand. And then you willingly have her walk into Titan Tower or backstage at Monday Night Raw, and she doesn't know her elbow from her fucking asshole. That would be like me putting in a fucking soccer player, a goalie, yes, come in the 9th inning and fucking close this 1-0 game out in the bottom of the fucking 9th. Yes, you're a goalie and you deflect balls coming at you, and you are the most important player on the field, but that doesn't mean you can come in the bottom of the 9th inning and secure a 1-0 game for my team. That would be like taking a YouTube fucking vlogger who has a chef channel and putting them in the kitchen at a 5-star Michelin-rated restaurant. You're gonna have him cook for all these big executives and really make it fucking glorious and beautiful and have it go off and be the most beautiful fucking delicious dinner of all time? No. No. That would be like taking somebody that has absolutely no business for a position like this and putting them in something that they've never dealt with in their entire life, man. It is absolutely fucking absurd to even think about. It is absurd. WWE should be fucking ashamed of themselves for even thinking that this was the right move to make. She added, while on the show, it was a surprise to learn she had been hired and was only given the job because she had a background in production and comedy writing. So they were like, perfect, come on in. She added that she only took the job because she was making 3 times what she was getting paid while working for a nonprofit organization. There you go. There you go. Kenice Mobley, lazy, was making more money than she ever has in her entire life for a position she had no business in being in. Fucking crazy, man. The story made the rounds with many people asking whose fault this was. It was everybody's fault. It was this fucking podcast fault for bringing her on. She could maybe still have a job. This is Kenice Mobley's fault for applying for a position that she should have not even glanced at. It's WWE's fault because they allowed this person to be interviewed. They did not look at her credentials and they brought her on anyway. It's everybody's fault. Everybody has a hand in this fucking disaster. Was this on comedian Kenice Mobley admitting she knew nothing? Or was this on WWE for bringing in someone who was so clueless and was eager to tell people how little she knew? Why go on a show and tell everybody that you don't know anything? Why even say that? Why even bother saying anything at all about pro wrestling? Yeah, I write for Monday Night Raw. That's it. I don't know anything. I don't know our WWE champion. What's his name? Bobby Ashley? Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful confirmed on Friday that WWE writer Kenice Mobley was fired. He has, for what it's worth, I'm told, fan reaction to Kenice Mobley's podcast appearance had little to nothing to do with the decision for WWE to let her go. Sure. You mean to tell me that this blowing up on social media had nothing to do with her being fired? Yeah, right. He then noted it was more of an internal concern from other executives behind the scenes. It's one thing to hire somebody with no knowledge of the product. It's another thing not to tell those new hires to avoid going on public shows and bragging about how little they know of the product that they were covering. It's no wonder fans were up in arms about this shit, man. They watch Monday Night Raw every fucking week, and then they got this fucking blithering idiot going on social media and a podcast claiming that she doesn't know anything about the goddamn fucking product. No wonder the shows fucking suck. You correlate one with the other, now we know why. Now we have an internal look at WWE's hiring process about who really is behind the scenes writing the shit that we see on a weekly basis. Fucking ridiculous, man. They all should be absolutely ashamed of themselves. Everybody like Kenice Mobley, her, and everybody before her, after her, keep them out of the fucking business. You have no business in this industry. None. I have more of a stake in this business than these people do. I could book this fucking show blinded in a fucking coma. More so than Kenice Mobley would ever. Give me a break. It's unbelievable, man. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on the show. We got a lot more to go over, man. We got a lot more to go over, but I want to thank everybody for sticking with me here in the venue, man. We got 1,500 live in the venue, 712 likes. Let's try for 1,000, man. Let's try for 1,000 likes on the live stream today. Also, make sure you guys get those super chats in. We will hang out at the end of the show, have some cold beverages, and just chill out, man. End our week on a high note right here with OTS. But I also want to thank my sponsor for today's show, man. Incredibly proud and happy to have Magic Spoon on board for the podcast, man. You can really get into your breakfast cereals. You know I have my favorites, but growing up, cereal was one of the best parts about being a kid, man. My parents used to give us cereal all the time. You know, the old school childhood favorites. I don't need to mention them here. But cereal was a big part of my life, man. But I had to give it up. You know, as I grew older, I became a little bit more health conscious. I knew what was good and what was bad for me. I didn't want anything full of sugar. I didn't want something that was deemed junk food. Something, high in carbs. And it was just all unhealthy garbage. I didn't like any of it, man. And I realized this. And as we grow older, we become a little bit more acclimated with what's good and what's bad. So I got Magic Spoon. I open it up. I taste it one morning, and I'm like, holy shit, man, this is delicious. It instantly hit me. I'm like, I don't think I've had a cereal that tasted this good in years. It was truly one of the best cereals that I've tasted in a very long time. It's got 0 grams of sugar. It's got 14 grams of protein and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. And it's also only 140 calories. They got 4 best-selling flavors. They got cocoa, they got fruity, they got frosted and peanut butter. My favorites so far have been the frosted and the peanut butter. I love how each tastes very different from the other. The peanut butter genuinely tastes like peanut butter. The cocoa genuinely tastes like cocoa. And the frosted, man, it tastes sweet, but there's no sugar. It is truly amazing, man. It tastes amazing, and it honestly is one of those things that is too good to be true. That's what I initially thought. It's keto-friendly, it's gluten-free, it's grain-free, it's soy-free, and it's low carbs. All you guys got to do to try this out, man, and believe me, you are going to love it. Click the link that you see in the chat right now. It is magicspoon.com. You guys could do one of two ways. Magicspoon.com, and at checkout, use code SCRIPT. Or you guys can go to magicspoon.com/script, and you're going to save $5 today on any of your purchases, man. Magic Spoon is where it's at. If you guys want a new alternative for breakfast, dump your old cereal and get on with Magic Spoon, man. That is magicspoon.com/script. And I want to thank them for supporting me and my breakfast every morning right here on OTS. It's awesome, man. Love it. Had a couple of people reach out to me. JD, you mentioned cereal. You mentioned cereal a couple of podcasts ago. Is it Magic Spoon that you're sponsored by? They knew. They knew. Magic Spoon's making the rounds, man. You're going to be hearing about them a lot right here on the channel. Continuing on with the news, man. SmackDown ratings, they were down after Edge and Roman Reigns was announced for Money in the Bank, and the Universal Championship match was made. So this week's national ratings for SmackDown, the average was 1.859 million viewers on Fox. That is down 3.6 from last week, and that was headlined by a Hell in a Cell Universal Championship match between Roman Reigns and Rey Mysterio. WWE, no reason was given as to why that match even took place, but the rating was down from last week. SmackDown finished last among the major networks in terms of total viewers, and also had Game 2 of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals airing on TNT against the majority of the show on Friday night. These are the overnight ratings. These are not the actual ratings. The overnight usually comes in a little bit higher, but not by much. The show finished second on the networks in the demo of 18 to 49 with a 0.50 rating that is identical to last week. It trailed the Olympic Trials on NBC, which averaged a 0.7 rating. Year over year, SmackDown was down 14.5% in total viewers, but was even in the 18 to 49 demo from the overnight ratings 1 year ago this week from the Friday show. SmackDown wasn't all that good, man. A lot of nonsensical stuff happened on SmackDown. Money in the Bank qualifying match between Big E and Apollo Crews. Big E winning that match clean, beating the IC champion clean on television, which is absolutely ridiculous. Liv Morgan and Carmella had a Money in the Bank qualifying match after Carmella was already announced for Money in the Bank. So who exactly is qualifying? You got no women on the actual roster for SmackDown, so you put Liv Morgan in a qualifying match only for her to really have one thing and one thing only happen. Her win. Because other than that, who are you going to put in the match? There is nobody, no other women on that active roster. Sasha Banks is out. Bayley's the challenger for Bianca Belair, more than likely for Money in the Bank. There's nobody else. What are we doing? What are we doing? And then Shinsuke Nakamura was coronated as King Nakamura on SmackDown, with Roman Reigns and Edge happening in the main event. Edge came back, he returned, he targeted Roman Reigns in the Universal Championship. Not really a big-time return. Everybody kind of expected him to be back anyway, but we just seen him in April. It's not like he's been gone for a whole year and he's back. Oh my God. He's just back on WWE television because WWE has SummerSlam coming up in August. That's the only reason why he is back on television. Speaking of Edge, his WWE Money in the Bank title match against Roman Reigns was not a last-minute decision. Some people were thinking that this was a last-minute decision to bring Edge in for Money in the Bank. Ringside News asked around about Edge and his return, and they were told that this was not a last-minute decision. Ringside News was told that this was in the plans for quite a while. Now, they are additionally being told that Edge versus Seth Rollins is still the working plan for SummerSlam in Las Vegas. Edge simply returned with a big surprise before Money in the Bank in a move that fans were not expecting. Roman Reigns will reportedly be busy at SummerSlam against John Cena for the Universal Championship. Edge, if you guys know, signed a massive deal in 2020 to return for limited dates, including dates and TV appearances. He also just returned from an injury that cost him the majority of his 2020 year. And it was reported that Edge's deal was worth $3 million a year and he was paid in full for 3 years, $9 million, as long as he wrestles at least 3 times per year. He's also scheduled to make 25 more appearances on WWE television. Obviously, some of those dates will be used to, go back on the road with WWE having live fans in attendance again. And Edge versus Roman Reigns is confirmed for Money in the Bank, as they posted on social media. So that is your Universal Championship match and your main event for Money in the Bank. Him being back is great. I was expecting him to show up on SmackDown. It just made sense for him to show up on SmackDown, being that Daniel Bryan kind of thrusted his way into the main event picture for WrestleMania. Edge versus Roman was always going to be a one-on-one match that made sense, especially after the Daniel Bryan triple threat match at WrestleMania. So I don't mind this taking place. It's a natural progression of what Roman Reigns has been doing on SmackDown. If he showed up on Monday Night Raw, it probably would have been a little bit more beneficial to Monday Night Raw than it would have been to SmackDown. WWE could have easily went with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns for Money in the Bank, but Edge is doing the Roman Reigns thing and then more than likely going on to Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. But Edge going back to Monday Night Raw, like I said, probably would have been a little bit more beneficial for them. They got no true collar baby faces on Monday Night Raw. You could have given Drew McIntyre a new, fresh opponent. You could have been, in the top program on Raw with Edge and Bobby Lashley. I feel like it would have been something that made more sense for him to go to Monday Night Raw. He was a Monday Night Raw superstar before he even won the Royal Rumble. But he's back on SmackDown. Apparently, WWE thinks that Edge versus Seth Rollins is the big money match. And they do have history. I do know that they have history. I'm not a blithering idiot. I do know that there's history there between those two. Should be a good story. Edge is always a tremendous promo. He's great at selling matches and builds to matches, so it's going to be great. I hope Rollins is on board, because Rollins right now is fucking absolutely as boring as watching paint dry. I don't think he's at a level right now that's going to make anybody look good. But it's going to be good, because Edge is going to be the leader in this entire thing. And him and Roman, Edge is not beating Roman. Edge was never going to beat Roman. I'm not saying Edge is never going to win a world championship. Maybe he's promised one world championship in his time back just to kind of close the door on his career. But he's not beating Roman. Roman's not the guy that anybody should really be beating, especially with this run. But Edge is somebody that is going to bring importance and significance to anything that he does. So I have no problem with this whatsoever. And according to Ringside News, like I said, it wasn't a last-minute decision. Speaking of Rollins, are we getting Reigns and Rollins? And if so, how soon? During Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer discussed the feuds that Roman Reigns has in the pipeline. He will face Edge, obviously, at Money in the Bank, John Cena at SummerSlam, and it seems that Seth Rollins is slated to take on Edge at SummerSlam, and after that, WWE more than likely will be setting up Reigns versus Rollins after SummerSlam is over. He says, and I quote, "That would probably be around September, if they even get it to September. Because the last I heard for SummerSlam, it was Edge versus Seth Rollins. So, if Seth Rollins were to beat Edge, then it makes all the sense in the world to go with Seth versus Roman Reigns at that point." End quote. Again, I have no interest at all in seeing Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins in the ring. I don't want to see it. It's pretty predictable at that point, because if all rumors are pointing in the direction of Dwayne coming back, Rollins will not even fare well at all in a championship run at Roman Reigns. So more than likely he will fail. So why give me something that I know is not going to work out and will inevitably fail for Seth Rollins? I don't want to see Seth Rollins, and I mentioned this for a couple of weeks now, I don't want to see Seth Rollins in the ring with Roman Reigns, because Seth Rollins right now, his suits and his quote-unquote drip are more over than Rollins in ring work. And the character that Seth Rollins is portraying on SmackDown, he's got nothing going for him. And I don't mean this in a snide, prick-like way. It's just the way that it is. Rollins is not over. He may be over to some of the geeks out there, but Rollins is not over the way that you would anticipate him or expect him to be over at a heel level. He pretty much fucked himself over. Rollins has nobody to blame but himself. All the detrimental shit he did and all the bullshit that he caused on social media really put a damper on what Seth Rollins is and what type of person, Seth Rollins portrays himself to be. You can make him look like the best guy in the world, man. Baby picture with his new daughter, Becky Lynch being his fiance, whatever the case may be. He could be the most caring guy in the world. That's not what I heard. I heard Rollins is the biggest fucking pussy of them all. And I know this to be a fact. All you got to do is watch him on fucking television. The guy is somebody that just emanates, hey guys, I'm going to bend over and do what I'm told and not say anything at all, even though I know it sucks. I said this going back to when he was WWE champion. I said this going back to when he was wrestling The Fiend, going into Hell in a Cell. There had to be at some point, Seth Rollins knew, this wasn't going to work. A match with The Fiend doesn't make sense right now. This ending inside Hell in a Cell doesn't work. What are we doing here? Instead of speaking up and being vocal about what he's doing, his character, his push, the match that he's in, the outcome that doesn't make sense, instead of speaking up and saying something, hey, this doesn't make sense. Can we do something different? He bends over backwards and he takes it up the ass and he does what he's told. He doesn't look like the type of guy that's going to voice his concern for anything. He's just going to take what he's given and do it like a good little soldier. Because he's more concerned about what he's doing instead of the quality of what he's doing and whatever else he's working with, or whoever else he's working with, I should say, and what they're doing and the quality of the product. Again, I don't mean this to be a dick, but this is the fact of the matter with Seth Rollins. And I don't think this is going to work out with Roman Reigns at all. Rollins is so mid-level right now that I honestly think it's going to hurt Roman Reigns in the long run. It really is. Seth Rollins is not really liked in a good way, so much so that he may end up turning Roman Reigns into a babyface, and that's not what we need. Especially coming out of a match with John Cena and going into a match with Dwayne for the Universal Championship. Rollins may fuck everything up. He has nobody to blame but himself. Are we going to get it? It seems like it. But where is Becky Lynch going? Becky Lynch seems like she's destined to come back any week now. Maybe she goes back to Monday Night Raw. What are we doing with Becky Lynch? That's where it's going to really matter the most. If Becky Lynch goes to Monday Night Raw, I would assume Rollins gets drafted back to Monday Night Raw. That's the way it's going to be. They usually don't break up couples. Not that couple anyway. Maybe he moves to Monday Night Raw and he gets away from Roman Reigns as well. Because there's nothing good for him on SmackDown as long as Reigns is champion. What does he do after Roman Reigns? Roman Reigns is easily going to run through him. What do we do with Rollins after Roman Reigns? Does he win Money in the Bank? I don't know. That's Big E's Money in the Bank to take, but like I told you before, a match with Edge, this is clearly setting up Edge versus Rollins at SummerSlam. The reason why Edge is doing the Roman Reigns match now, Rollins is probably going to have a say in that, being that he already told Adam Pearce, I'm the one that deserves it most. Now Edge is getting it, so Rollins is obviously going to have a factor in that. This is Big E's Money in the Bank to take. I honestly think that booking Seth Rollins and Big E was probably the best way to go for SummerSlam, but who am I? That's what I would have done for SummerSlam. Seth Rollins and Big E, and not do anything with Edge, really, with Seth Rollins at all. Where's Daniel Bryan is what I want to know. Daniel Bryan versus Edge would have been a much better match one-on-one. You could have had Edge beat Bryan, then go on to Roman. Give Rollins Big E. That would have been a great match at SummerSlam. Daniel Bryan being away from WWE television is actually, in my eyes, making SummerSlam less than what it really could be. I honestly think the way that I booked it was probably the most perfect SummerSlam card. I don't know. But we are getting it, and I'm not excited about it at all. AEW ratings are up for the final Dynamite on Friday night. As per PW Torch, the ratings are in 552,000 viewers on TNT, which is a 13.4 increase from the week prior, which had 487,000 viewers tuning in. These are very low numbers because they've been off TNT on Wednesday nights for 5 straight weeks now. I don't really count these ratings at all. The fact that they're up is good. People are getting excited about seeing them back on Wednesday night. AEW also saw an upswing in the 18 to 49 demo as it drew a 2.0 rating. That is up 5% from the week prior. The main event for the June 18th edition of Dynamite, the Good Brothers and one half of the tag team champions of All Elite Wrestling, Matt Jackson of the Young Bucks, defeated Eddie Kingston, Frankie Kazarian, and Pentagon Jr. The episode also featured an MMA cage fight between Wardlow and Jake Hager, and Arn Anderson's son Brock made his AEW debut as he teamed with Cody Rhodes to defeat Aaron Solo and QT Marshall. I don't have the ratings for last night's Saturday Night Dynamite. Obviously, the ratings won't be available for that until mid next week, but AEW will be back on Wednesday, 8 p.m. I will be here live with Jesse on Wednesday night, 10 p.m. on Off the Script. It's going to be great to have AEW back in its regular time slot and not on Friday night. NXT, the June 22nd episode. The demo was down and the viewership was down as well from the previous week. NXT drew 665,000 live viewers. That was down from 695,000 live viewers. The show did a 0.17 in the 18 to 49 demographic, and the show did a 0.19 a week prior. All these pro wrestling companies are being affected by the NBA and NHL playoffs, and that is obvious to both of these brands. You got TNT, the home of the NBA playoffs, and then you got the NHL playoffs, which have been exciting from what I'm seeing on social media. Everybody's going crazy over them, so it is what it is. Both of these shows will be better off for it when these playoff scenarios are all over. But Kushida on NXT wrestled Kyle O'Reilly. Good match. Nothing that's going to really blow your socks off. Hit Row versus Ever Rise, who are now unemployed. We got the reveal of Diamond Mine. Adam Cole versus Carmelo Hayes. And Frankie Monet was in action on NXT. Not really much going on following the big reveal of Samoa Joe being a new authority figure on NXT. Nothing really happened in week number 2 of him being there. Johnny Gargano. He was on NXT on Wednesday, and it seems like they are setting him up not only for a big babyface push, but they're setting Johnny Gargano up for a match against Karrion Kross at the Great American Bash. Dave Meltzer talked about Johnny Gargano in the recent NXT report on The Observer. Said that Johnny Gargano seems to be in line for an NXT title shot after quietly transitioning from a heel to somewhat of a babyface persona with Austin Theory and The Way. He says, and I quote, "Not only is he now a babyface without a turn, he's probably going to be main eventing against Karrion Kross very soon. He might even be main eventing the Bash. If they have an NXT title match at the Bash, he's the challenger for Karrion Kross, because, I mean, he's the only one that they're promoting right now to go one-on-one with Kross," end quote. Kross is also seemingly teasing a feud with Samoa Joe. I don't know where that's going. Samoa Joe's teasing a feud with Pete Dunne as well, and maybe Adam Cole. So we don't know what Samoa Joe's intentions are on NXT. But Karrion Kross, you know, he made waves this week on WWE main roster television as he debuted against Shelton Benjamin on Main Event. I don't know if you guys saw this, but WWE was copyright striking several Twitter accounts who were reposting clips of Karrion Kross's entrance from Main Event this past week. Now, I don't know why they did that. They should have realized that this was going to be the reaction. They should have realized that when you dumb something down and we don't get what we see in NXT, and we only assume that you're already burying this guy beyond recognition, that this is going to blow up in your face. So WWE tried to pretty much exile all these accounts, and they tried to banish this clip as it never fucking happened. Meanwhile, you could go on Peacock and watch the fucking match for yourself against Shelton Benjamin. This guy's the NXT champion, and he's selling for somebody who is a VIP in catering on Main Event. What a stripped-down entrance where he looked like a jobber from the creator community section in WWE 2K. He walked out and he had "fuck me" written all over his face. No scarlet, no smoke, no fucking ambiance, no lighting, nothing. Nothing. The guy was absolutely buried, and he didn't even step foot in the ring until the bell rang. He was buried before he even got in the ring. Done. But WWE doesn't realize this. Now, is this just a trial run, stripped down, and that's not what we're going to get? Is he going to really come out and do what he does on NXT? Probably not. If history, has shown us anything, it's that WWE, they don't really give a fuck about what Triple H is doing, man. Triple H creates and Vince kills. They always try and take from Triple H and then change it to make it their own because they can't stand Triple H doing something better than them. And NXT hasn't been all that great, but that's the way it is. Bruce and Vince and everybody on Vince McMahon's side, everybody in Vince McMahon's camp, they don't watch NXT, they don't give a shit about NXT, and they don't want to stand for anything that Triple H has done in NXT, that when they call it up, they change it. I mean, I don't know why you're taking the NXT champion and you're putting him on main event and stripping his entrance down. Why do you need to see him in the ring against Shelton Benjamin? Why can't you just watch NXT television on Tuesday night and see him wrestle guys like Finn Balor? Or maybe watch him in a fatal five-way at TakeOver in your house against Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, Pete Dunne, Kyle O'Reilly. These are great professional wrestlers. What are you going to get out of a match with Shelton Benjamin that you didn't get in all the matches that he's done in NXT? What are you specifically looking for? It's almost as if they were looking to bury him before they call him up. And the worst thing about it is they're thinking about moving Scarlett to the other brand and making her wrestle. Who in this chat wants to see Scarlett Bordeaux wrestle? You knew that was going to happen. Vince is going to look at her and deem her the next Sable. Or Bruce is going to look at her and deem her the next fucking Sable. She's going to go right back to the TNA bullshit that she was doing as the smoke show Scarlett Bordeaux. Nobody wants to see that. She completes the active Karrion Kross, and that is the best role for her. This is Rusev and Lana all over again. I don't get WWE feeling the need to change anything. Triple H has given you a perfect act. Why don't you just go and do it and leave it the fuck alone? This guy's buried before he even makes the main roster, and more than likely, he's going to be put in the draft. Who does he drop the title to? I don't know. Do you see Johnny Gargano beating him? Probably not. Does he drop the title? Does he forfeit the title? Does he do something ridiculous where they strip him of the title? Who's going to beat him? And what are we going to do with Kross on the main roster? Look at what they've done with Keith Lee. Look at what they've done with Ricochet. Look at what they've done with Damien Priest. If history repeats itself, Karrion Kross is fucking doomed. TikTok. Man, oh man, that catchphrase of Karrion Kross. What a fucking, what a forbearance on what's going to happen. This guy is foreshadowing what's going to, TikTok. It's exactly what's going to happen, man. TikTok before Bruce Pritchard buries you on Monday Night Raw. News on Diamond Mine. Diamond Mine debuted on NXT. Roddy, Tyler Rust, Hideki Suzuki, and Malcolm Bivens as the mouthpiece. People are like, oh, Roderick Strong is going to have this new group, and he's leading Diamond Mine, but he's not. He's not the mouthpiece. Malcolm Bivens is the mouthpiece. Roddy's just the big guy, the big figurehead in this group. Fightful Select is now adding additional details to what is going on backstage with Diamond Mine. According to Fightful, the group has actually been planned for several months, even before Roderick Strong's recent absence and storyline resignation from NXT. There were actually plans for the group to debut well before it did, but it shifted back more than once in order to wait for the right occasion. Now, this report goes on to mention from Fightful that there have been different members and different plans at different points, but Tessa Blanchard and Parker Bordeaux, Brock Lesnar's illegitimate son, the guy that looks like Brock Lesnar that WWE signed, Parker Bordeaux, they were never involved or even planned to be in Diamond Mine. Those were just fans getting carried away with speculation on Twitter like they usually do. Diamond Mine reportedly was also a part of WWE's plans, Triple H's plans, I should say, to elevate the brand's cruiserweight division. So with WWE firing most of 205 Live, they don't really have much of a cruiserweight division, and I'm sure these plans for Diamond Mine are now up in smoke. So we'll see what happens. I'm very interested to see what they have to say on Tuesday's NXT. WWE Monday Night Raw. Viewership bombs for the June 21st episode as they fail to promote another Hell in a Cell match. Monday Night Raw saw its viewership bomb as usual on Monday nights. According to WrestleNomics, the episode drew an average of 1.719 million viewers on the USA Network, which was down slightly from the 1.742 million viewers the show did the previous week. The 18 to 49 demo saw the average rating of the show at a 0.49. That is the same rating the show did last week. There's no word yet on the hourly demos and the hourly ratings for viewership. This was the post-show edition of Hell in a Cell. That pay-per-view was on Sunday. You guys can go and watch the review if you guys want on the YouTube channel here. I covered it extensively. We got Bobby Ashley versus Xavier Woods in a Hell in a Cell match. That was the main event of the show in a non-title match. WWE did not give us any indication over the weekend that we were getting a Hell in a Cell match on Monday night. We opened Monday Night Raw on USA Network at 8 p.m. and we still see the Hell in a Cell cage hanging from above the ring. And we're all wondering what's going on. And then we get this nonsensical start of the show where Xavier Woods is challenged by Bobby Lashley to a Hell in a Cell match. Kofi Kingston's getting his WWE Championship match against Bobby Ashley at Money in the Bank. But Bobby Ashley challenged Xavier to a Hell in a Cell match. So WWE had Roman Reigns and Rey Mysterio on Friday, SmackDown, which is a normal SmackDown episode. They had Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley in the main event of Hell in a Cell, in a Hell in a Cell match for the WWE title. They had Bianca Belair versus Bayley inside a SmackDown Women's Championship match, Hell in a Cell. And then they had Bobby Lashley versus Xavier Woods in a non-title match for whatever reason inside Hell in a Cell. 4 Hell in a Cell matches in 4 days. I mean, if you ask me, that is devaluing the said concept of Hell in a Cell. Why exactly was that necessary? WWE foolishly gave Fox... Now, I don't know if Fox asked. I don't know why they would. Why do we need a Hell in a Cell on basic fucking SmackDown television? WWE said, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do it on Friday. There had to be a reason. Meltzer didn't know the reason. Sapp didn't know the reason. I'll tell you the fucking reason. Roman Reigns has so much fucking pull backstage, he didn't want to work Father's Day. That's the reason why we got Hell in a Cell on Friday Night SmackDown between him and Mysterio. Reigns didn't want to work SmackDown, or he didn't want to work Sunday, Father's Day, and he said, you know what? I don't want to work it, and you know what? I'm going to vouch for Rey Mysterio too, because I love his son Dominic. I don't want Rey working Father's Day either. It's pretty much the only reason. Why not do this match on Sunday? Roman Reigns has that much pull in WWE that he did not want to work fucking Father's Day. So WWE bowed to Roman Reigns' whim and requests, and then USA Network is watching SmackDown. Why can't we get a Hell in a Cell, man? What about us, man? All these fucking suits and ties that don't know jack shit about what the current product needs or how to fix Monday Night Raw. All they're concerned about is Monday Night Raw, we need a Hell in a Cell match because Friday Night SmackDown, Fox, got a Hell in a Cell match. Of all the things to be worried about, that is what you're fucking concerned about? As if a Hell in a Cell match is going to do any different for the fucking ratings on Monday Night Raw. Clearly, the Raw rating bombed with a Hell in a Cell match that you could not even fucking promote because WWE had no time to. Not like they would if they did. But you're coming out of pay-per-view Sunday, and you got no fucking time, and WWE didn't even announce it on social media. They could have at least announced it on Monday morning. Hey, we got another Hell in a Cell match on Monday Night Raw. Please tune in. It's going to be great. Nothing. So normally people don't watch Raw, and those people that don't watch Raw realized, or didn't realize that there was a Hell in a Cell match. So what exactly did you do here? You benefited nobody. This did not benefit Xavier, Lashley, Raw, WWE. All you did was further kill the entire concept of Hell in a Cell. To a point where I don't want to see another Hell in a Cell match for a very, very long time. Such a disgrace. So WWE only booked a Hell in a Cell match because USA Network wanted one since Fox got one. How fucking pathetic. As if there's nothing else wrong with your show. That's the one thing you're concerned with. They got Hell in a Cell. Why not me? Open your fucking eyes and realize that there are several issues on this goddamn fucking show. Speaking of Xavier Woods, he may be off WWE television for a while. Alvarez on The Observer mentioned, and I quote, "I think Xavier Woods is getting written off TV." I'm not positive about that, but I did have someone mention that to me this week. Xavier Woods is going away. He's busy with EA Play Live on July 22nd, and he's got other non-wrestling related projects as well. Also, he does work for G4, the video game network. So he's going to be out for a little bit. Kofi Kingston's going to be going solo for a little bit as he challenges Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship on July 18th at Money in the Bank. So there you go. At least somebody's selling Hell in a Cell and the effects of it, because Bobby Lashley had a gruesome Hell in a Cell match with Drew McIntyre on Sunday and shows up dancing with fucking hookers on Monday Night Raw. Great. That's great. Selling nothing of Hell in a Cell. Comes out, there's not a fucking mark on him. He's dressed to impress, and he's not doing anything on Monday Night Raw. Not selling a single fucking thing on Monday Night Raw, being that he was in a hellacious Hell in a Cell match with Drew McIntyre. Good job there, Bruce. What writing? What a creative genius on Monday Night Raw. Get it off my television. Jeff Hardy. Backstage news on Jeff Hardy's WWE contract. This was reported via Fightful. They report that throughout the year, WWE has made alterations and changes to several contracts, and Hardy's deal was either restructured, re-signed, or extended. It was noted that Hardy's deal lasts until the end of 2022 or the beginning of 2023. So I also heard WWE is definitely bringing back No More Words, Jeff Hardy's old theme song, back to WWE once they get back in front of live fans. So that is happening next month. But Hardy, I was surprised that either A, he didn't request his release, or B, get his release granted to him. Because they've been treating him like shit on the main roster. He hasn't done anything. He's not even in Money in the Bank as we speak right now. I don't even think he's going to be added to the Money in the Bank ladder match, because on Monday Night Raw, there's a last chance battle on our hands between Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and Drew McIntyre. So, looks like Jeff Hardy's not going to be in Money in the Bank, and that match caters to somebody like Jeff Hardy. But I know Matt Hardy is waiting for that contract to be up. He's already stated that he wants his career to be ended in AEW with Jeff Hardy, and they want one more run at the Tag Team Championships as the Hardy Boys. And they think, Matt Hardy thinks anyway, that a feud with the Young Bucks, a really great feud to cap off their career with the Young Bucks, is exactly what they need. It's going to happen. We don't know when it's going to happen. 2022, 2023, we don't know. He may be released before then. We don't fucking know. He may be a part of the next upcoming budget cuts for all we know. But right now, his contract was restructured. I don't know if he willingly resigned. I do know that he's been out for quite some time before he actually made his way back. He was out for a year and a half. What that means probably is it might not have been restructured or re-signed or extended, but it was definitely extended because he was out, and they are trying to get those dates back. He was out because of personal problems, drug-related problems, alcoholism, DUI, driver's license suspended. He had to go to rehab. So WWE's trying to recoup all that time back, so they just added all that time back onto his existing contract. He didn't re-sign anything. He's just working his dates that he didn't work when he was out for a year and a half. So it definitely was extended or quote-unquote restructured. He didn't re-sign anything. Keith Lee. Keith Lee has run into a major roadblock with WWE, and we may finally have some resolution to why he's been off television. According to a report by Heel by Nature, Keith Lee is facing some problems with trademarking his name for usage in pro wrestling. He filed for an application with the United States Patent and Trademark Office in December. On June 21st, Lee's attorney was sent a notice that there were two issues trademarking Keith Lee's name. WWE already has a pending application on his name. A mark in a prior filed pending application may present a bar to registration of applicant's mark. The filing date of pending U.S. application serial number 8859-4009 precedes applicant's filing date. In Keith Lee's application, he included several screenshots from websites dating back to 2008, showing that he has used his name in pro wrestling, Keith Lee. The trademark office believes that the screenshots only identifies the name of a specific person and now function as a service mark to identify and distinguish specific services. Keith Lee's trademark was also filed under the entertainment service, and he included advertisements and posters showing him working in the events. Right now, they are still awaiting some kind of resolution. Lee has remained off WWE television for months. He posted a note saying that he wants to tell his story to educate others, but he's not allowed to do that at this time. At this point, we have no idea what is going on with him. The latest update must be frustrating for him and all involved. It only adds to the unsolved mystery of Keith Lee. Is this the reason why he's off television? It certainly sounds like it. Certainly could be a determining factor as to why he is off television. I don't know when he filed for that. It says here that on June 21st, Lee's attorney was sent a notice. I don't know when he actually filed for this. In December. He filed for this in December, so he was already on the main roster. So this was not an issue in NXT. He got called to the main roster. He probably seen it right away that things were going downhill and that it was not going to end up going his way. He tried to save his ass, and he tried to trademark his name because that's his fucking name, and WWE got in the way of that. So now you're mixing it up with what you're doing, and you're trying to trademark it with WWE trying to trademark the same thing because they want to fucking own you and every aspect of you, and this may be the reason why he's off television. But that's not the reason. It's only one of the reasons why he's off television. WWE absolutely decimated this guy from top to bottom. They made him look like a complete blithering idiot. They changed his fucking theme music when they didn't really need to. I don't know the deal with WWE and why some people have CFO Money theme music and why others don't. Keith Lee had great theme music in NXT. All of a sudden, he shows up on Monday Night Raw and he doesn't have that theme music anymore. So why was it still being used in WWE at NXT, but it's a problem on the main roster? I don't know. Aren't they all joined? Isn't it all the same thing? Bianca Belair has CFO Money theme music. Shayna Baszler has CFO Money theme music. Matt Riddle has CFO Money theme music. Io Shirai still has CFO Money theme music. Nakamura has CFO Money theme music. Why do some people have it and some people don't? Do the wrestlers have the option to pay for that music and pay for the rights to that music? I would love to know. Did Keith Lee not want to pay for the rights to that music? Did he really need to go and redo his theme music again, which was ultimately worse than what he originally had? They took his moveset away from him. They wanted him to wrestle like a big guy. They wanted him to wrestle like a Kane or a Big Show or Mark Henry. That's not what brought Keith Lee to the dance. That's not why you gave him a WWE contract. You gave him a WWE contract because he was able to move like somebody half of his fucking size. Why would you change that? How are you going to make money off Keith Lee if Keith Lee's not able to do what Keith Lee does best? And the reason why he's off television is I don't give a fuck who says what or reaches out to me or says I'm bullshit. Keith Lee was taken off television because he's fat. Keith Lee was taken off of television because they wanted him to lose weight. And if he doesn't come back with weight loss, I would be shocked. But Keith Lee's not coming back to television as the Keith Lee we remembered in NXT. That Keith Lee is dead. At this point, I'm not surprised at all if he gets released. The fuck does WWE need Keith Lee for? They clearly don't want him. They have no fucking desire to push him. If Keith Lee wanted to be there, he wouldn't have went and trademarked his fucking name. He realized what was happening. His career was in fucking shambles, and he tried his best to salvage whatever was left. Finally, guys, Damien Priest. Where's Damien Priest? There's another guy from NXT. Where is he? Is he hurt? Is he hurt? I don't know. I don't know why somebody's in the biggest run of his fucking career. Yes, let's take him off television for 5 fucking weeks. If anything I know, guys like Damien Priest who are receiving runs like he was with Bad Bunny and being in the spotlight like he was at WrestleMania, why would you opt to now go away and be taken off WWE television? Don't you think that's a little weird? During a Q&A portion during the Wrestling Observer Radio this week, a fan asked Dave Meltzer why Priest hasn't been on WWE television since the May 17th Raw. Dave Meltzer noted that Priest is out with a back injury. Quote unquote, back injury. Was he hurt before then? Was he hurt at WrestleMania? Was he hurt during the zombie match with The Miz? When did he get hurt? He didn't wrestle like he had a back injury. And even if he did have a back injury, here's a novel concept that I'm sure a lot of geeks out there in social media land don't really understand. If Damien Priest hasn't been on television since May 17th and he went away with a back injury that doesn't require surgery, why can't you feature him in vignettes? Why don't you guys actually do something with your fucking lives and tell me a backstory about Keith Lee and why we should fucking care? Or not Keith Lee, him as well. Tell me a backstory about Damien Priest. Why is he here? Who is he? Why should we care about Damien Priest? We didn't get any vignettes for Damien Priest. We didn't get any video packages as he made his debut on the main roster. Why do you think it's better if he stays off television since May 17th with not a fucking soul giving a shit about this guy? Not one fucking peep from this guy. Why do you think it's best to keep him off television since May 17th? Now, when he comes back to TV, is anybody going to give a fuck? All the momentum that you built up for Damien Priest is now wiped away. Dave Meltzer said bad back, right? He's injured. Brian Alvarez pointed out how Priest had a bad back at WrestleMania 37 and still worked the match. Meltzer responded, but yeah, he worked the match with a bad back. Alvarez is not an idiot. Damien Priest might have had a bad back, but was it bad enough to keep him off fucking television? Fightful Select provided some conflicting information on prior reports about Damien Priest, and the site is reporting that Priest is not injured right now. There you go. Brian Alvarez, for all the hate that he gets, was right again. Not injured right now and will be available as soon as next week if WWE has creative plans for him. The report goes on to say that Damien Priest has been off television the last few weeks due to, and I quote, undisclosed reasons. Isn't that the same reason why Keith Lee is off television? Undisclosed reasons? What's the problem now, folks? Vince McMahon doesn't like the way Damien Priest wrestles. He needs to wrestle like a big man, too. We can't do spinning heel kicks off the top rope. We can't do flying topes over the top rope. You got to wrestle like a big man. Send him back down to the Performance Center pronto, ASAP. Or maybe they're blaming everything having to do with Bad Bunny not having an impact on the fucking ratings like I told you it would. Nobody gave a fuck. Maybe they're blaming the audience retention and how it hasn't done shit for the product ever since Bad Bunny left, and they're blaming that on Damien Priest. Which one is it? Which one is it, Bruce? I'd love to know. Damien Priest is off TV for absolutely no reason, and this is another casualty of Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon from NXT that they've absolutely fucking destroyed. I don't want to hear from anybody how Damien Priest is injured. He's not hurt. And even if he is hurt, he's not hurt enough to keep him off television. The guy was fucking tweeting from NXT the last 3 weeks. Does he want to be back there? I'm pretty sure he does, seeing what's happening on Monday Night Raw. Was he injured enough to keep him off television? And if he is hurt, Why don't you make a fucking vignette detailing who the fuck this guy is and why I should care about him? Too much work, I guess. Too much work. That would mean effort and building a new star, which we all know WWE has zero effort, and they don't give a fuck about building new stars. That's pretty much it, guys. I appreciate you all sticking with me here on the podcast. We got 863 likes in the live stream right now. Hit that thumbs up. Let's try it for 1,000 inside the OTS venue tonight. We're going to go over the super chats in just a second so you guys can get them on in. We're going to hang out in a little bit, have some cold beverages, but I appreciate you guys sticking with me. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Make sure you guys go check out Magic Spoon, magicspoon.com/script for $5 off. So go and check it out, man. It is absolutely delicious. Go follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That is Twitter and Instagram. And if you guys want to support the show, patreon.com/JD from NY206. Bonfire is the home of all merchandise. Bonfire.com. Link is down below. And go check out all the other videos you might have missed on the channel. Those are all on the homepage as we speak. Let's start at the top with these super chats, man. I appreciate you guys sending them on in. We got Stefan Beck with a $4.99 super chat. Says, hey, JD, love all your content for 5+ years. Keep up the great work. Are you considering going to MSG SmackDown in September? Stefan, thank you so much, brother. I am not going to MSG, but I will be attending the AEW Dynamite event at Arthur Ashe Stadium in September. Obviously, it is the more important of the two shows. And me and Big Hodge, my partner in crime on Critiques and Connoisseurs, a very good friend of mine, we will be doing some really cool shit during that day. Possible meet and greet. He'll be there. We may be able to get some backstage access and film some stuff for Critiques and Connoisseurs Season 2, man. So I'll be at Arthur Ashe Stadium and not Madison Square Garden. He also says, with another $4.99 super chat, also, I saw F9 with John Cena yesterday. It was legit enjoyable. I heard it was trash. I heard it was garbage, man. Drizzy Drew with a $2.99 super chat. Thoughts on Jericho back and forth with Shotzi Blackheart today? I didn't know that was a thing, and I don't really care, Drew. I'm pretty sure it had to do with the comments she made about the blood and guts. But everybody made comments about the blood and guts, man. The blood and guts fall was commendable of Jericho, but it could have been shot in a different way. That was it. If they shot it in a different angle, it would have been so much better, man. But we all commend Jericho for taking that jump at his age. Nobody's got a problem with him doing that. We all respect the shit out of Chris Jericho. It was the way the production team shot it. Shotzi isn't the only one that made fun of it. You know, she better be careful about what she says. And all these people, man, you know, believe it or not, you know, I don't think Jericho's the one you want to make fun of. You know how much power he has in AEW? Sooner rather than later, somebody like Shotzi Blackheart's going to get fired, and where's she going to go? She's going to be begging Jericho for a job. Fucking ridiculous, man. Yeah, Shotzi's going to have a great time on the main roster, just like Rhea Ripley's having a great time. Or Ruby Riott, right? Give me a break. She better watch her fucking mouth. Jericho holds a lot of power there, man. You get fired from WWE, where you going? Everybody's going to land in AEW at some point or have AEW on their list. Michelle Moran with a $5 super chat. Hey, JD, Reigns and Rollins should wait till mid-2022 when they turn Roman face. Just ask Shayna and Kairi Sane what happened when they tried to do heel versus heel. Yeah, that was awful. That was awful. That was the one night that I think Vince McMahon kind of made a determination on Shayna Baszler. he put her in that situation. I believe it was in Brooklyn. I believe it was at the Barclays Center. He put Shayna Baszler in a match against a heel Kairi Sane right before Shayna was supposed to take on Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. And nobody knew who to cheer for. The crowd was so indifferent to both of them because Vince didn't realize they were both heels. Gavin Deeth, $10 super chat. Australian, thank you, brother. The cuts the past few months and hiring of writers who literally have no clue about wrestling business. I just wonder how demoralized the current roster is because you can see it when they perform, which makes Eddie Kingston's words ring all that much more true, man. There's no heart. Nothing that man said was false. Thank you, Gavin. Robert with a $5 super chat. All hail the YWC, the YouTube wrestling chief. Thank you, Robert. Justin Strippin with a $9.99 super chat. It will be interesting to see how WWE gets The Rock for Survivor Series, considering the fact he's currently filming Black Adam, and then he'll be working on his new animated DC League of Super Pets movie. Black Adam, from what I read, is finishing up filming in the next 2 to 3 weeks. The Rock said personally that has maybe 2 to 3 weeks left. So Black Adam's not going to be an issue. Any other projects, animated series? He's not really acting in that movie. He's just lending his voice, I'm assuming, if it's animated. So Rock, you know, if that's the only thing he has left to do, it's a good chance that WWE may be able to get him for Survivor Series. Robert Lamoa with a $10 super chat. WWE is going to run in a shortage crisis if they keep releasing wrestlers. Look at the tag team division across 3 brands, and the women's division has already started. Bro, both the tag team division and the women's division is shit. People are joking online already that WWE 2K22 is going to need to be delayed because of all the roster cuts. KB with a $4.99 super chat. What's up, JD? Who is one wrestler from AEW or WWE who you originally didn't like or thought was green, but actually turned you into a fan? Much love, bro. I'd probably say Orange Cassidy. I knew that he was very athletic and he could move, but I think he really opened up my eyes when he wrestled Pac last year. Or the year before that. It was at Revolution. He wrestled Pac in a one-on-one match. That was the same night, I believe, Omega and Paige wrestled the Bucks. So he really opened up my eyes for sure. And I'd probably say Orange Cassidy. Indigo with a $5 super chat. Hey, JD, much respect. I'm here and always have been because of you. These releases need to look at this as a blessing. Another awesome episode of OTS. Thank you so much, Indigo. You're here every single night. I appreciate you, brother. Stay cool, man. It's hot out there. Hooligan with a $5 super chat. Did you see the tweet of McMummy at the Dave Chappelle show last night? Vince is the only one who thinks we want entertainment. More OTS Live. Yes, Hooligan, I did see it. And shout out to Vince's plastic surgeon, man. Vince looks like a fucking corpse. Shiny and new. No matter how much plastic surgery he has, he's still a 74-year-old demented fuck who needs to be removed from his current position. DV Acme with a $5 super chat. The reason Eddie's promo resonated so much is that AEW has built up equity with their fans. His statements feel genuine because the facts bear them out. Absolutely agree. Nothing he said was false. I think people are making a big deal out of nothing. If Eddie Kingston was able to speak like that and have that much heart, isn't that a good thing? If WWE had that much heart as Eddie Kingston cutting that promo, Monday Night Raw and SmackDown wouldn't be as bad as they are now. Joseph King with a $5 super chat. Hey, JD, I love your content on pro wrestling. It's absolutely incredible. Keep doing your thing for the IWC. Love you, bro. Peace from a real fan. Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate you, man. My boy, Evan. What's up, brother? $4.99. Ashley, it's pronounced Bobby Trashley Goon. WWE hiring a comedian to write wrestling is like a record company signing Nickelback to make music. Ha 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 ha! Fuck Nickelback, man. Fucking god-awful band. I don't call him Bobby Trashley anymore. I've actually kind of warmed up to Bobby Lashley. I think this current character that he's on right now with MVP is good. I think MVP has done wonders for him. But yes, hiring a comedian to write wrestling is a no-no. They need to bring in people with knowledge, people who are fans, people who care about the product. This woman clearly showed herself as a selfish bitch who just wanted an easy payday. Get her out of here. Get her out of here, man. She's got a ban in the venue for life. Thank you, Evan. Linda Carter with $5 super chat. It's best if Becky goes to SmackDown because she'll be far away from Charlotte. She can mix it up with Bayley, Sasha, Bianca, Liv, and Sonya at some point. Yeah, but who's going to take the title over Rhea? Is it going to be Charlotte? And who's going to take the title off of Charlotte if Charlotte wins the title over Rhea? Linda Carter with another $10 super chat. Sonya cut a great promo calling her out. Not to mention, Becky said Sonya was someone to look out for. Heel Sonya versus Becky could be kind of interesting in a fresh matchup. Just throwing it out there. You're right. You're right, it could. Is WWE going to go and do that? The women's division is in shambles right now, man. Raging Girl Gamer with a $5 super chat. Raw with low ratings. I don't get these fans, man. Raw is the greatest show on television right now, and Bobby Ashley is carrying the company. Gotta love Rage with her comments, man. She must be drunk at the fucking bar again for a second night in a row. Somebody cut her off, please. Justin Striplin with a $4.99 super chat. Speaking of Xavier Woods, and what a joke WWE is for this, but a report came out saying that WWE is asking Xavier Woods to stay away from Tyler Breeze. Yeah, man. We can't have real-life friends now. Give me a break. What, are they going to troll his Twitch streams now? What, are they going to ban his IP address? We can't have you streaming Call of Duty with Xavier Woods. Give me a break, man. I didn't hear that story. That's pathetic if that's the case. Francis Loop with a $5 super chat, just showing my support for 4 straight days of your podcast, including Raw's tomorrow. I actually loved your SmackDown rant from Friday. SmackDown was a damn good review, man. Thank you, Francis. I appreciate you, man. We'll be back here live tomorrow night. Majin with a $5 super chat. Hey, JD, I have a question. If Brock Lesnar comes back, is he coming alone or with Heyman, even though he's with Roman right now? That's a good question. I don't know. I'm pretty sure WWE is at least thinking about Roman versus Lesnar. But I don't want Lesnar and Heyman as a pairing to be split up. I think the money is in them together. Chocolate Bunny with a $5 super chat. How would you feel when Braun Strowman's 90 days are up and he goes to AEW? He could tag with Lance Archer and Jake the Snake can manage him as well. No. Braun Strowman would be a terrible signing for All Elite Wrestling. I think Tony Khan knows that for a fact. Whatever money you're thinking about throwing at Braun Strowman, give it to Aleister Black and Ruby Riott. Maybe a Buddy Murphy. R. Wells with a $5 super chat. JD, you are awesome. Keep up the awesome work, loving off the script. Thank you, R. Wells. I appreciate you, bro. Sixers205 with a $9.99 super chat. Have any of the NXT prospects actually worked out? No. None of them. None of them have worked out, man. It has been absolutely terrible. Paul Jackson, 1988. with a $5 super chat. I blame the Kenice Mobley disaster on WWE. Why hire somebody who has absolutely no knowledge of the product? Jesus fucking Christ. Vince and Bruce. I don't know, man. I think I've explained all that I can explain about Kenice Mobley and why somebody like that, even being interviewed, is ridiculous. She should be ashamed of herself for even looking at the position and going to the fucking interview. Just an awful fucking mentality, man, WWE has. Yeah, you have no wrestling knowledge. Come on in. That's pretty much it, guys. I'm tapped out. We're about to get out of here. I appreciate you guys stopping by the OTS venue. We'll be back live tomorrow night for Monday Night Raw. Not looking like a great Monday Night Raw, man. We got Kofi Kingston in a one-on-one match with MVP. We got a 6-woman tag team match that I personally do not give a single flying fuck about. And we got Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, and AJ Styles in a last chance qualifying match for the Money in the Bank. What will Bobby Ashley do on Monday Night Raw? Will we see Damien Priest? Will we see Damien Priest on Monday Night Raw? That's what the report said from Fightful. If Creative has plans for him, he'll be ready to go this week. Sure. Sure he will. Anyway, guys, I appreciate y'all stopping by on your Sunday night. If you have not hit that thumbs up yet, I would really appreciate it if you do. It helps the video out when it publishes to YouTube, man. Hit that thumbs up. We're almost at 1,000 likes. 65 more likes, and we'll be at 1,000, man. You guys are great. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. We'll be live tomorrow night for Monday Night Raw. We'll go over everything we need to. I might have an extra as well this week. An extra or two, to be exact, depending on how much news there is. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That is Twitter and Instagram. Go check out Magic Spoon, today's great sponsor, magicspoon.com/script. Save $5 off your purchase today and get one of the most delicious cereals on the market, man. magicspoon.com/script. And go check out all the other videos that you might have missed on the channel. They are all on the homepage right now. Monday Night Raw, NXT, SmackDown from Friday, AEW from Saturday. Go check it out, man. It was a hot one in New York City today, man. I got my cold beverage. I got my Mustang waiting outside. The windows are down, and I'm about to get out of here, man. But I need two things from you guys right now in the live stream chat. Number one, give me those guitar emojis in the chat. And number two, that music you're listening to, the sweet sounds of Pilot. I need that music on max. I'll see you guys tomorrow night for Monday Night Raw, and thank you for everything. This has been Off the Script. I'm JD. I'll see you guys on Monday night live right here on OTS. See you guys later.